Good afternoon, everyone. John Marcus Powell. Thank you, another round of applause. John Marcus's poetry resonates with me in so many different ways. He is a flaneur, just as I am. We love walking through the city and allow the city to walk through us. And so many of his poems are about just that. We also look at the city with a queer eye. And so John Marcus and I share a much longer history than the 10 years that I've known him. And then finally, of course, both of us are immigrants. So in both of our poetries, we look back at where we came from with an eye that is loving but not blind, that is critical but not cynical. And I'm going to read you one of his poems about his native Wales, I believe. At least I think so. It is a poem called River. It is set just after the war. I'm going to read this poem, say a few words about it, and I'm going to read a poem of mine on a similar immigrant theme. River by John Marcus Powell. A mother, son, daughter, and daughter's husband walked down the slope of the village to celebrate the son's 15th birthday on the river banks. What a morning, ordinary and extraordinary. The earth surges, and the sky shows off clouds, which are its pets. The mother is a cook in the new canteen of the village school. With the war over, hunger is less part of a kid's vocabulary. Food is still rationed, but gravy and meat and cheese are no longer an event. The son-in-law has a high position in the nearby town's asylum. He believes insanity is the result of a lack of privacy. During the war, to connect was a mandate. Post-war society needs a commitment to the secret life. The daughter works behind the counter in the town post office. A survey is taking place, so all transactions are ticked off in a numbered space. 2 experts hired to oversee the survey behave as if personal efficiency is/was the aim of the war that raged. The 15-year-old son is a beauty. In a stage of puberty, which knows railway bridges across rivers, dream of being made love to by pitiless trains. In sleep, he's cursed with sweet orgasm, often. His mother is disgruntled from having to wash the sheets. At the river, the son gets into his swimsuit immediately, and while showing mother, sister, brother-in-law his new swimming ability, is pulled by the current into a whirlpool. Next day, his body is retrieved as he was sucked under what presents itself as a calm stretch of water. His thoughts are, "Ma'am, I can't. My eyes will be pearls. Oh, please." When the family returns up through the village, they can't tell the difference between the surfaces of water and the clarity that is the day. When will they get back to working? All have important jobs, especially the mother. Part of democratic services, she's expected to be cooking. The government has provided a white overall, and if she doesn't work, she won't get paid. Unlike, I think, many of his poems about his native Wales, this poem is perhaps more objective than subjective. In the other poems, we actually see the life of the young John Marcus, vulnerable but very self-aware. or else we hear the voice of the older John Marcus very much present in the poem. But in this poem that I just read, he seems to have dialed down his own voice to give the family instead, as described in the family, his full attention. There is, of course, a singular attention paid to this beautiful boy, who is so precisely described to be at a stage of life when he knows railway bridges across rivers, dream of being made love to by pitiless trains. Is that wonderful? It is such a beautiful, beautiful image for that stage of life. And yet, of course, it is not just a singular erotic gaze at this boy. It is generalized to life after the war, when the boy becomes, of course, a symbol for the loss, first of all, for the death of heroism in favor of post-war efficiency, for the loss of privacy, because we all need to be in a community now, or for the disappearance of compassion, because business has to go on as usual. And so this poem speaks so particularly, but at the same time so generally. And I think it's a wonderful work of art. Thank you, John Marcus Powell.